Welcome to this video. Today I am making a traditional 7-course French meal. It's going to be vegetarian. It's French because we're currently on holiday in France. I have 5 guests and it is currently about 12 o'clock and I'm going to start prepping all the food. Dinner's going to be at 6 o'clock. I'm going to take you through the place settings, all the different meals, like the courses. And yeah, let's go. First of all, I have to look the part, so I'll show you my outfit. This is my outfit. I started by clearing and setting the table. I really had to research table placements for this, where the plates go, where the cutlery goes, what glasses you need on the table, and I had to line up the plates and bowls in a stack for the order of the courses. The house that we stayed in had so many amazing dishes, and this is the final table placement. We've got cutlery for every meal, a bread plate, a teacup and saucer, a wine glass and a water glass. I then started by making a French 75 cocktail mix. This included lemons, which I squeezed, gin and sugar syrup, which I made on the hob by reducing sugar in some hot water. This cocktail is for the first course, which is called l'apéritif, where you serve a cocktail with some olives and other things. I decided to go with pretzels. This is me making the sugar syrup on the stove. I used brown sugar for this, but I'm pretty sure you're meant to use caster sugar. I let it cool down before I added it to the mix, and now I am making the tart, as I thought I would make it before the dinner so that it was ready. I peeled all the apples. This is for the dessert, which is the final course. I chopped all the apples into slices and put them in a bowl so that I could arrange them on the tart. I soon realised that I did not have any flour, so had to make the tart base out of oats and muesli. So I decided to make it a strawberry and apple tart, mixed in butter, sugar, oats and muesli into a mix so that I could press it into the cake tin to make the tart base. I then spread jam over the tart to stick the apples onto it, arranging the apples in a circle to make a really pretty pattern. And then I put some sugar over the top just to finish it off so they caramelise nicely in the oven. Then I pop that into the fridge for later. This is finishing off the cocktail mix and taste testing it. You're meant to mix champagne with the cocktail, but I decided to go with tonic water instead. This is making the salad for the salad course. I just went with whatever greens and veggies that I could find. I'll put a picture of the courses on the screen now so that you can see the order of the courses. This is making salad dressing with balsamic vinegar and olive oil. Then I started prepping all the rest of the veg that I would need for the other dishes. This is peeling the mushrooms for the mushroom bourguignon, which is the main dish. I was going to make mashed potato with this, as that's traditional, but I didn't have enough hob space, so I decided to go for roast potatoes. I was in the kitchen for probably from about 12 in the afternoon, and then dinner was at 6:30. This is prepping the potatoes. I boiled them whilst I was prepping the rest of the food so that I could then put them in the oven to roast whilst everything else was cooking and they'd be out the way. Then I started to make the bread. This is vegan baguette that I found that you have to put in the oven. This is boiling up the potatoes so that they're all ready to go. I was going to use the bread for the canapes, but I decided just to use it as a bread on the table for the soup course. Once it had cooled, I cut it up into pieces and put it in dishes on the table. Once the potatoes were boiled, I put them all onto the tray with some olive oil, herbs, salt and pepper, and popped them into the oven for later. I had to keep a notebook full of all the things that I was doing to keep track of things. Now I'm making the canapes. I toasted bread, cut it into slices, arranged it on the plate so there was 2 for every person, and then sliced cucumber and carrot, put that on there with some avocado. First of all, I put some olive oil onto each slice of bread so that it was nice and moist and crispy. Cucumber, so pretty. This is making the avocado. I actually mixed in some lime, some herbs, salt, pepper, and actually a little bit of soy milk in there as well, just to make it really creamy. I grated the carrot to arrange it on top of the cucumber just to add a bit of colour to the canapes, and then dished out the avocado by the spoonful on top and decorated with some herbs and some dill. Now it's time to get cooking, so I cooked up the carrots for the mushroom bourguignon and then chopped all the onions and had very watery eyes whilst I was doing that. I cooked a whole bag of onions to make the French onion soup. All of the chopping and watching things boil was a very tedious process, but I decided to get started early and get it all over and done with, so that I just had to cook it and everything was lined up in bowls. This is starting off cooking up the onions. I just fried them with some salt, pepper, herbs de Provence and some olive oil. The carrots were done, so I put them to one side in a bowl, opened up the wine because wine will be added to the mushroom bourguignon. This is the onions cooking off nicely. I had to cook them really slowly. I had to start cooking the bourguignon and the soup at the same time next to each other. Oh dear, my notebook's in the way. Oh, I moved it. That's good. Adding the mushrooms into the soup. I used some of the cooked onions from the soup to use in the bourguignon. Adding in the red wine to the bourguignon. I don't know if I'm saying that right. It's probably pronounced differently. Oh, foil's in the way now. Stirry, stirry, stirry. Mixing it up. So at this point I had prepped the canapes, I had prepped the dessert, the apple tart. The cheese course didn't need much prepping because that would just be whatever cheese anyone wanted, and grapes. I had prepped the salad course, so these were the last 2 courses that I was prepping, because I had also prepped the aperitifs. This is cooking up potatoes. There they are. Don't they look so gorgeous? And that's the mushroom bourguignon and the soup next to it, and they had 30 minutes to simmer down. And this is dishing it up. I found these fancy bowls and I was able to finish cooking it all in time and pop it in the oven to keep it nice and warm while we were having the other courses. And here we are! Course 1, the aperitif, French 75, olives and pretzels. Course 2, l'entrée, the canapes. Course 3, the French onion soup with baguette. It was a little bit too balsamic vinegary. Course 4, mushroom bourguignon with potatoes. Course 5 was salad. Course 6 was cheese and grapes, and course 7 was apple tart. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next Friday for another video.